Let me say something that is going to upset a lot of people. Modern marriage might be the biggest lie we were sold. We grew up believing that if you find the right person, fall in love, get married, life works out. That is the deal. That is the dream. Every movie, every song, every love story told us that love is enough. But what if it is not? What if the version of marriage we are chasing today, built on feelings, on romance, on one person being your everything, is actually less stable than the version our great-grandparents had? The version we look down on. The arranged marriages. The duty. The you don't have to love them, you just have to commit. I am not saying they were right about everything. But I am saying we might be wrong about more than we think. Let's talk about it. How our ancestors did it. Go back thousands of years. Ancient Egypt, ancient Africa, medieval Europe, ancient Asia. And marriage was never about feelings. It was pure survival. Families used marriage to protect land, build alliances, and secure money. In many cultures, the husband and wife had never even met before their wedding day. Their parents sat down, negotiated the terms, and that was it. Done. And here is the part that surprises most people. It often worked. Not because they had no emotions, but because leaving was simply not an option. You committed, you stayed, and your entire community held you accountable. There was also something else our ancestors understood that we seem to have forgotten. They never expected one single person to be everything. Your spouse was your partner for survival. Your friends gave you companionship. Your family gave you support. Your community gave you belonging. The load was shared. Nobody was carrying it alone. Today we pile every single need onto one person and then wonder why so many relationships fall apart. Why people marry. Over hundreds of years, love slowly entered the picture. By the 1800s, marrying for love became the popular idea. Books, poems, music, religion, all of it pushed the message that the right marriage starts with deep feeling, with that one person who makes everything make sense. Today, love is not just preferred, it is required. Most people will not consider marrying someone they don't deeply love, no matter what their family says, no matter how good the match looks on paper. But here is the honest question nobody wants to ask. Is putting that much pressure on one relationship actually working? Is one person really supposed to meet every emotional, physical, financial, and social need you have for the rest of your life? Because the divorce numbers suggest that expectation might simply be too heavy for most people to carry. How couples meet. Our grandparents married someone from the same street, the same church, the same small town. They grew up around each other. Their families knew each other for years. There was history, trust, and community watching over the whole thing. Now, we pick up our phone, open an app, and swipe through hundreds of strangers in minutes. And while that sounds like freedom, it comes with a hidden cost. When you have too many options, committing to any one of them becomes hard. There is always someone new. Always the thought that maybe the next person will be better. That constant distraction makes it harder to stay, harder to build, and harder to grow with the person right in front of you. More options, less peace. Nobody warned us about that. What is actually happening in relationships today? This is where it gets uncomfortable. These are the things happening right now that most people are too afraid to say out loud. Living together before marriage is now completely normal. Most couples do it and call it smart. Test the relationship before you fully commit. But here's what the data actually shows. Couples who live together before marriage are statistically more likely to divorce, not less. People argue about why, but the numbers exist and most people have never heard them. Then there is the situationship, a relationship with no label, no commitment, no clear direction. You act like a couple, you feel like a couple, but nothing is official and nothing is promised. Before, this did not exist. You were either together or you were not. Today, millions of people are stuck in this in-between, giving their time, their emotions, their loyalty to something with no foundation. And somehow, that became normal. Social media completely changed how people experience relationships. Before, your marriage was private, between you, your partner, your family. Now, it is performed online. People post the good moments, hide the hard ones, and then compare their real, messy life to everyone else's highlight reel. That comparison creates silent pressure and resentment that slowly eats away at real relationships. And then there is the red flag culture. One bad moment, one argument, one mistake, and someone is labeled toxic, not worth the effort. Before, people talked. They argued. They worked through it and came out stronger. Now the first sign of difficulty, and many people are already mentally planning their exit. So ask yourself honestly, are we getting better at protecting ourselves? Or are we just getting worse at doing the hard work every relationship requires? Divorce. Before, divorce was nearly impossible in most of the world. People stayed in bad marriages for life, sometimes marriages that were genuinely harmful. That was wrong, and it needed to change. But when leaving is easy, staying through difficulty becomes a choice fewer people make. Every marriage, without exception, goes through seasons that feel impossible. Conflict, distance, boredom, pain. Our ancestors had no choice but to sit inside that difficulty and find a way through. We have the option to leave. And sometimes we take it not because the marriage is broken, but simply because it got hard. Are we leaving broken marriages, or are we leaving difficult ones? Marriage changed more in the last 100 years than in the 10,000 years before that. Our ancestors built it on duty and survival. We rebuilt it on love and personal happiness. Both have value. Both have cost. Maybe the answer is not going back to arranged marriages, but maybe it means being honest about what we lost. The community, the accountability, the willingness to stay and figure it out even when it is painful. The question is not which era got it right. The question is what kind of partner you choose to be, what you are willing to build, and what you are willing to fight for. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Do you think modern relationships are better, or have we just made it easier to give up?